Following a live post on what was scheduled to be his opening day, drag racing promoter Bill Bader said, "I'm a damn proud American and I'm angry as hell." Stay with us in this video because we're going to show you how Bill Bader broke the internet and went viral, saying his racetrack must open and will open. We'll also let you know what this means for motorcycle drag racing fans. So much to talk about. Stay with us.
Small business owners, government will not save you. Open up and save yourselves. And I think that's where we're at. There are no monies for me. There's lots of well-intentioned. There's lots of government entities that are saying, "Hey, Bill, we feel really bad. We'll do everything we can for you," but nobody's written me a check. And that business is not done in the theoretical. Business is done in reality, and reality is different. In the case of Summit Motorsports Park, the reality of it is we've had a couple really wet years. That's a reality. The reality is that I spent $1.5 million on a new racing surface, and I borrowed the money for it. The reality is I spent $500,000 in lighting upgrades. I borrowed the money for it. The reality of it is I bought land, 130 acres. About $3.5 million I've spent in the last 3 years. Why? Because I wanted to have a nicer facility. The Bader way was always to reinvest everything you had into your racetrack. That was my dad's philosophy, and that's my philosophy. I must get open. And so I guess the message that I wanted to share tonight is that we are opening. Summit Motorsports Park is not going to wait for permission. Summit Motorsports Park is not going to wait for Dr. Fauci and wait for Amy Acton and wait for Mike DeWine because none of them even know I exist and none of them really care. And at this point, in the interest of self-preservation and wanting to maintain an incredible legacy that my family started here in 1974, we are opening this racetrack. We will open this year. I am being asked to sit here and slowly, daily, hourly, and by the minute, I'm being asked to slowly die. And I don't do that well. I am not going to sit passively by and watch my family's hard work go down the drain at the hands of a machine I don't even understand.
Wow, Cycledrag. Strong and powerful words from Bill Bader, one of the greatest drag racing promoters of all time. He says, "We will not wait for permission to open. We are opening. We are starving. Do not wait for government to save you. Save yourself, businesses." Wow. Incredibly powerful. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second, but first, I want to let you know why this is so pressing and compelling for Cycledrag and motorcycle drag racing fans. If you followed our announcement at the PRI show this year, we dropped a bombshell at the Norwalk Night Under Fire, the biggest independent drag race in the universe. We announced that there would be a massive Top Fuel motorcycle freak show starring Larry Spiderman McBride and a bunch of other talented racers. I had planned to announce the entry list already, but of course all that is on hold because of this terrible pandemic. But just in case you missed it, let's take you back to the PRI show. We promised you a huge announcement. We know that the biggest and baddest name in motorcycle drag racing is Larry Spiderman McBride, 550, 264, and we also know, are you ready for this? The biggest spectacle in drag racing, the biggest can't miss event of the year, and we've been to a lot of them all throughout the world.
Absolutely.
But there's only one that is the granddaddy of them all, and that is Bill Bader's Norwalk Night of Fire. And I am proud to drop the news right here. Mark your calendar, August 8th, 2020, at the Norwalk Night of Fire. Cycledrag proudly presents the world's quickest motorcycles, headlined by this man, Larry McBride. How excited are you to get to Norwalk?
I'm super excited, and I got a lot of my good friends coming, Sam Wills and, of course, Mitch Brown.
That's right, and more to come. We're not going to give them. We're not going to give them all away right now. We're still working on the field, and 40,000 fans. John Force, ice cream. What is it? A whole pound of ice cream at Norwalk. It is the biggest spectacle
Unbelievable.
in drag racing, and this year it will include a motorcycle shootout.
I can't wait, man. It's a fast racetrack too.
We'll see you in Norwalk.
Thank you.
We're very excited about that, and we're very excited that Bill says full steam ahead for Summit Motorsports Park in Norwalk. So make sure you stay tuned to Cycledrag YouTube, cycledrag.com, Facebook, and wait till you see this entry list, okay? It's going to be awesome. We're bringing a total motorcycle freak show to Summit Motorsports Park. Now, in this video, I'm going to bring you Bill Bader's entire Facebook Live that he rocked the universe with just a few short days ago. Everybody picked up on this. Major media outlets picked up on this. If you don't know who Bill Bader is, he's a bit of a household name in the drag racing world, I can tell you that. Norwalk is gorgeous. It is known as a country club-esque rock and roll arena that is just pristine and beautiful, no expense spared. Bill talks about in this video that the Bader way is to invest back into the property, and that's why you see the greenest grass. That's why you see the best sound system. That's why everything is just top-notch at Norwalk, and the show's always great. And the personal connection I have to Bill Bader is when I first announced an AMA Pro Star race there back in 2002. The first time I met Bill Bader, he taught me a very important lesson. He said, we are not in the racing business. Everybody thinks we're in the racing business. He said, we're in the entertainment business. That's true in a lot of ways. And I'll tell you this, Summit Motorsports Park, you can go there and get a pound of ice cream for $1. In this day and age where you go to a hockey game and a beer is 15 bucks, where can you go to a live event and get a pound of ice cream for $1? That's the type of marketing hooks. That's the type of entertainment that Bill Bader provides at his amazing facility. So I want to get a discussion going about what Bill says. Without further ado, let's take you to Bill's earth-shattering live cast from Norwalk, Ohio.
I had hoped to make a major announcement tonight, and I'm going to have to delay that for 1 week. And the reason for that is I want to explain, I guess, just some insight into what's going on, kind of inside the mind of Bill Bader Jr. at Summit Motorsports Park. I think it's very easy from your side of the desk. And keep in mind, we serve a lot of masters. I have a sanctioning body. I have, and I'm receiving an incoming phone call. Are you kidding me right now? Radical Rick, come on, use your head, brother. I love you, but in any case, we serve a lot of masters. We have a sanctioning body that we have obligations and compliance to. We have sponsors. We have a very large book of sponsor business. We have been blessed to have an exceedingly strong portfolio of marketing partners that spend a lot of money with us each year. I have customers, and they come in the form of spectators who buy tickets. They come in the form of racers who buy tech cards. We have just a number of masters that we serve. And so all of those, whether it be the sanctioning body, whether it be our sponsors, whether it be our guests that buy spectator tickets or buy tech cards, we have the community at large that we generate a significant amount of economic impact for. I don't know if you know this, we employ 430 event staff. So in the course of the year, we have or had at one point 26 full-time people working here and 430 event staff. So we have a lot of people who we are responsible for. And so when you are Summit Motorsports Park, when you do anything, when you create an event, when you produce a schedule, there is a hierarchy and there is an order. And so when I begin drafting a schedule, I land the national event, I land Night Under Fire, I put those both on the schedule, and then I fill in everything else around it. We have a number of facility lease partners that we work with. And that's a master, I suppose, we serve as well, whether it's Josh King at Monster Mopar, whether it's Pete and Andy Woodruff at the Ames Performance Tri-Power Pontiac Nationals, whether it's Steve Walcott at Pro Media, whether it's Sam Corcus at Street Outlaws. We have a large import event, the Busher import event that we do in August. So we have a number, and I know I'm forgetting somebody, and I apologize. God, don't ever name people unless you're prepared to name them all. So we have a multitude of masters that we serve, and there is it's like putting together a puzzle when you put together the year. So we construct the year, we build and model all of our programs around the idea of one of two things: either having sponsor support for it, and or having racer support for it. When we create an event, the first thing we do is we model the event, we create the event, and then we ask ourselves, will anybody care about the offering? And if the answer is yes, well, then we say the next step is how many people? How many people will come to this? How many spectators will come to it? How many racers will come to it? And then how much are they willing to pay? That's kind of the very basic steps in creating an event. So the reason I share that with you, there are months and months of complexity involved in creating a schedule, in creating a year, in creating year 2020. So now we are unraveling that. We built a schedule. It took time. It took energy. It was painstaking. And now we're being asked to unwrap it. That does not happen quickly. It's not as simple as saying, okay, we'll do this, we'll move this here, we'll strike this. As an example, I had a promoter of a very large series yesterday share with me that they're going to revise their schedule, and they want to come to Norwalk in a different time of the year, and they want to put a date on a certain weekend. Unfortunately, I already have a big event on that weekend. And so the question was, well, which event would you run? Would you honor your contract, which is event X, or would you put event Y, which quite frankly makes way more money than event X? The problem is that these are relationships, and they've been in place for a long time. And you don't ever, at least in my opinion, sell yourself to the highest bidder. At that point, you're just a whore, and I'm not interested in doing that. So there's got to be honesty, and there's got to be an integrity components when you're trying to unravel a schedule that you've spent months putting together. Our schedule is usually, like, for example, I have a draft for 2021 right now. I've had multiple conversations about dates for 2021. So it is months and months in the process. And unfortunately, as a result of COVID-19, it is unraveling before our very eyes. So we serve a lot of masters. There is a process that we have to go through, and here we are. I guess I want to preface this by saying that I think safety is of paramount importance. I think to try to quantify a human life by placing a value on it, is a human life priceless, or is it irreplaceable? I think those are things that are way above my pay grade, and probably only the good Lord can answer those things. So I understand the importance of safety. I understand the importance of following a procedure and following a protocol. But I will tell you this, that if you look at the numbers as a result of COVID-19, they are a fraction of projection. If you 3 weeks ago or a month ago, the media, Dr. Fauci, whomever drove this machine, led us to believe that this was going to be a catastrophic loss of life. And it's proving out now that is certainly not going to be the case. And yet the media is not taking their foot off the gas. Our commander-in-chief President Trump, when he issued a federal state of emergency, basically empowered and enabled at every level. So every county, every borough, every municipality, every state became autonomous from the federal government to administer rules per their discretion. And I don't question the decision by President Trump, not at all. But what we have now is a situation where social distancing, best practices, we now have empowered and enabled all of these people. And if they had their way, they would save every human life. And the question I would have for them is, at what expense? If in Huron County, for example, we are able to save every life and limit and ultimately mitigate any outbreaks of COVID-19, but in the process of that, we all starve to death, what have we accomplished? And again, this is a philosophical discussion. This is a conversation in morality. And that's not something that I think we need to debate. I think the reality of it is that many of us feel that we are approaching a stage where it is safe to re-engage, it is safe to go back outside, and I think the American people want to go back to work. I think that is evident, and you're seeing all of these peaceful protests that probably in the days and weeks to come will become less peaceful, which I would never advocate. I don't advocate violence ever. So I think we have a situation where the media isn't going to take their foot off the gas. I think we have a situation where these local governments are left with trying to determine how to restart the economy. There's a lot of uncertainty about how to do that. And a new Facebook friend, Conrad Allen, and I don't know if he's watching, I would imagine not, but Conrad Allen posted something on his Facebook page today. It said, "Small business owners, government will not save you. Open up and save yourselves." And I think that's where we're at. There are no monies for me. There's lots of well-intention. There's lots of government entities that are saying, "Hey, Bill, we feel really bad. We'll do everything we can for you," but nobody's written me a check. And in lies the problem. We are starving. As honest as I can possibly be, we have laid off nearly our entire full-time staff. On payroll, there are 3 people left here: Melissa, Evan, and Bobby. They have all taken a pay cut, and they're very committed. As Jamie's laid off, I am no longer receiving a paycheck. So the team is 5 of us. And, I saw Mike Kostick's post. And Mike, I've just been so buried. I wanted to reach out to you. What an incredibly generous offer. There were a number of people that reached out to me: Ed Grisey, Dave Gebauer, a lot of people that reached out, Sally Galanek, a number of people that reached out and said, "Hey, we'll help out. We'll help out." I know that Hugh and Jill Goodale reached out. They said they would help. So lots of William Tharp, our Division III director, said, "Bill, I'll be there in a second. Tell me what I can do." So there's been incredible amount of support. There was a gentleman who posted that wasn't buying any of it, who said that businesses shouldn't be asking for money. Businesses should be fiscally responsible. If I were a business owner, blah, 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 blah. I think in theory, I agree with a lot of that gentleman's points. I don't remember his name. But I agree with a lot of his points, but please understand that business is not done in the theoretical. Business is done in reality, and reality is different. In the case of Summit Motorsports Park, the reality of it is we've had a couple really wet years. That's a reality. The reality is that I spent $1.5 million on a new racing surface, and I borrowed the money for it. The reality is I spent $500,000 in lighting upgrades. I borrowed the money for it. The reality of it is I bought land, 130 acres. About $3.5 million I've spent in the last 3 years. Why? Because I wanted to have a nicer facility. The Bader way was always to reinvest everything you had into your racetrack. That was my dad's philosophy, and that's my philosophy. The problem is there was nothing in the war chest. I didn't plan for a pandemic. I never put money away for the rainy day. I spent and I spent and I spent because I believed in the future. And that's biting me in the ass right now. So while we sit in college and college professors teach us that we should have X amount in savings and in theory we should do all these things, if college professors were that damn smart, they would be in business, not teaching business. So the theoretical is great, but the reality is quite a different animal. And so we find ourselves in a position that is an uncomfortable one. And I must get open. And so I guess the message that I wanted to share tonight is that we are opening. Summit Motorsports Park is not going to wait for permission. Summit Motorsports Park is not going to wait for Dr. Fauci and wait for Amy Acton and wait for Mike DeWine because none of them even know I exist and none of them really care.
Yeah, so we told you Bill was coming strong with some powerful words. And hey, Bill's got to do what Bill's got to do. These are tough times for everybody. I think so many of us want to get back to normal. Our heart goes out to anybody affected by this terrible virus. But Bill is providing a lot of optimism for a lot of people.
And at this point, in the interest of self-preservation and wanting to maintain an incredible legacy that my family started here in 1974, we are opening this racetrack. We will open this year. It was my intention tonight to announce opening day. And I'm excited about that. And I wanted to share that. Unfortunately, I can't do that tonight. I'm going to do that next week. Why can't I do that tonight? Well, because I have right now behind the scenes, I have promoters scrambling to put their to unwind and rebuild their schedule for 2020. And in releasing my schedule, I realized that there were facility lease partners that weren't ready to release theirs. So in the act of releasing mine, I would reveal part of theirs. And they said, Bill, you can't do that to us. And I get that. I'm not happy about it, but I certainly respect that. That's only ethical. So I am going to work to continue to get my ducks in a row, to get our marketing partners, to get all of our facility lease partners in a row and lined up. And we will have a Facebook Live next week, and I will be releasing the 2020 schedule. And please understand something, and hear me when I say this. I'm not asking, I'm opening. There is a certain amount of risk involved in that, but I will tell you this. As I sit here at this desk, I am being asked to sit here and slowly, daily, hourly, and by the minute, I'm being asked to slowly die. And I don't do that well. I am not going to sit passively by and watch my family's hard work go down the drain at the hands of a machine I don't even understand. If the numbers are down, the outbreaks are down, if the number of deaths are down, does it occur to anybody why nobody has said, guess what? Good news. By the grace of God, we overprojected, and we are going to take the next 30 days and we are going to open our country back up. Has anybody said that? No. Dr. Fauci said today on ESPN that there will be no spectator sports open this year. That's what he said. You've got Mike DeWine, who, if he had his druthers, would not open up the state this year. The comment has been made and it's been thrown around that there are no, that our business segment out events, whether it's concerts, whether it's festivals, whether it's drag races, whether it's stick and ball events, the event business will be the last segment to open. And I've been told on more than one occasion, don't expect to get open this year. That's the reality. And yet I'm looking at outbreaks being down. I'm looking at the amount of fatalities being down, and yet nobody's taking their foot off the gas, which leads me to believe that there's something else at play. What's really driving the shutdown of America? What's the machine behind the curtain that's driving this? We can theorize, we can speculate, but the long and the short of it is, I don't believe that the shutdown of America is solely about saving lives. I think there's a political motivation. I have a theory as to who that is or why that is or what that might be, but that's just my opinion, and it's really not what we're here to talk about. The long and the short of it is, there was an overreaction to COVID-19, and nobody is willing to step up and say we overreacted. Nobody's willing to step up and get the American people back to work and get the country open back up again. They want to shut this country down for as long as possible. My guess is at least up until the election.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. In the comments, let me know what you think about this. And please make your plans to join us for the Norwalk Night Under Fire. I'm about to announce the entry list soon. It's going to rock the world. It's going to be the biggest, baddest show in the history of motorcycle drag racing. I cannot wait.
And you know what? As Conrad Allen posted, government will not save you. It's time to save yourselves. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to get back to the business of family entertainment here at Summit Motorsports Park. I am going to have a Facebook Live next week. I'm going to release a schedule, and I will tell you, we are opening in 2020. And Mike DeWine, if you don't like it, I'm at 1300 State Route 18. You come and see me on opening day. But with God as my witness, we are opening this racetrack, and we're opening sooner rather than later. So, folks, just bear with me. I need to get my house in order. We will release the schedule next week. And I just got a text message from Keith Kelling. So I will have a Facebook Live next week, and we will release the schedule. I'm going to tell you this. The schedule is going to look different, and it's going to feel different. And, I look at things like our points program. I look at things like the Edelbrock Super Series. I look at things like the Lucas Oil Super 64 presented by American Race Cars. All of those companies are struggling. All of those companies are, to this point, holding on to their sponsor payments. Okay, we are receiving no income. We're receiving no sponsor money, or very little sponsor money. We're receiving no ticket sales, and so I can't afford to cover the point fund. I can't afford $50,000 out of my pocket for the Super 64. And so for me to facilitate those programs, I need those sponsors, and I can't fault those sponsors. I mean, listen, American Race Cars is a fine American company, but they're a mom and pop business. Lucas Oil is a monster, but they've got to be fiscally responsible. Edelbrock is a big company, but they've got to be fiscally responsible. Right now, everybody needs to make good business decisions, including you. Each one of you have to make a business decision. So what I'm going to tell you is it's going to look different. It's going to smell different. It's going to taste different. But the point is, we're going to be open. We're going to be rolling our cars out of their boxes. We're going to be doing burnouts. We're going to be getting ET slips. And we are going to go about the business of racing. So I appreciate your support. I've been doing this since I've been 10 years old. And this would be what, my 52nd or 50. This is my 52nd or my 42nd year at Summit Motorsports Park, and I will be damned if this business is going to go down on my watch. It's just not happening. And with the help of the good Lord and the help of a wonderful community and a great group of sponsors, we will persevere. And so I want to thank everybody. I did not plan on going for 24 minutes. I apologize for that, or nearly 25 minutes. But this can be played over and over. Share the hell out of it. And stay tuned, okay? I'm very excited. I'm very optimistic. And Summit Motorsports Park will open. And that you can take to the bank. I want to thank everybody for their time. And as always, please email me at wab4@me.com or text me on my cell, 419-577-5210. May God bless each one of us, and may God bless the United States of America. Good night, everybody.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope we provided you with a little bit of entertainment. That's always what we aim to do. We love motorcycles. You love motorcycles. Let's keep this thing growing. Check it out, guys. Up here on the wall, 100,000 subscribers. I love it. Thank you so much. It's all because of you. We appreciate it. Please come with any story ideas. We love the comments and the feedback. I read every single one of them. The positivity is always appreciated. And you haters out there, I love you too, because you keep me on my toes. Thank you for watching no matter what. Guys, to keep this thing growing, please subscribe to Cycledrag on YouTube. Hit the bell for notifications. Share with some friends who like drag racing, like motorcycles. This is how we can keep this thing going. And also like Cycledrag.com on Facebook. And we'll keep rolling. We'll keep finding those stories. We'll keep finding those impressive high-performance motorcycles that you want to see. Thank you guys so much. Truly appreciate it. You know, if there's anything fast motorcycles involved, we are in. Cycledrag rolls on.
This is WWE superstar Zack Ryder, and when I'm not winning championships or collecting action figures, I'm on YouTube watching Cycledrag and going to Cycledrag.com. And also when you're on YouTube, go to the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. All right, Cycledrag on YouTube, Cycledrag.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the legend is here. How are you doing, sir?
I'm cycle dragging. That's what I'm doing. Cycle dragging forever and ever and ever.
You are the man. Sweep the leg, right?
Sweep the leg, no mercy, and cycle drag.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Bader cuts the promo of the century. He is taking control of his own destiny. Norwalk Summit Motorsports Park will open soon. Can't wait to hear more updates from Bill. Make sure you keep it locked here on Cycledrag YouTube and Cycledrag.com Facebook. We'll keep you updated with all the latest, especially the information concerning our big motorcycle freak show for the Night Under Fire. It's going to be epic. We want to impress Bill. We want to bring him a great representation of the two-wheeled world. Thank you, everybody. Please leave your comments down below, your feedback. Please subscribe to Cycledrag on YouTube. Hit the bell for notifications. Like Cycledrag.com on Facebook, and we'll keep it going. If there's anything fast, top fuel motorcycles involved, we're in. Cycledrag rolls on.